Hey, Segovia, back with another one. Hope everyone out there's having a good day, y'all. We got some creepy TikToks we're gonna get into. Before we get into it, though, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up, right? I ain't gonna sit here and beat that dead horse. Enough with the chit chat. Let's do what we all came here for. Let's get into the video. Sit back, relax, enjoy the show.
Something huge is up. Now, trust me when I say the last thing I feel like doing is recording a video, but I have to show you this. And trust me, it's gonna get weirder as we go. So we're gonna start with this right here. So you mean to tell me it turned directly into blood, directly over Jerusalem and nowhere else? And that's not even half of it. Wait till I show you what happened when a plane went from the eclipse. But right before that, did you know that they were raining evacuation notices in Gaza City just yesterday? No, did you see what Trump just said? This was just a little bit ago. I have warned Hamas about the consequences of not accepting. Now, don't misconstrue what I say. Of course we want the hostage back. But did you know at the same time Israel's airport is being bombed? Yeah, at the same time all this is happening. That's very coincidental timing. So back to the plane for 1 second. We have this plane that flies right in front of the eclipse and it drags part of the eclipse with it. And they're saying that, yeah, it's just an optical illusion. Or maybe we don't even know what an eclipse really is or what God uses them for. And again, yeah, we know that eclipses are normal and they happen, but it just turns blood red just when it's going over Jerusalem, like right when it hits it. Cool photo on the way to Jerusalem, cool photo in Jerusalem. But guess what? I haven't showed y'all the craziest part. Get ready for this one. You know 3-Eye Atlas, that little alien thing heading towards us? Guess when it's gonna cross by the sun? Halloween Eve. Now, Halloween Eve, basically Satan's day, to make sure it does not drop any mini probes. What are the chances of that? Oh, and of course, more flooding in the United States. Or I forget, maybe this right here that just happened in Pakistan. Residents were saying there's something evil about it. Maybe I'll update y'all later.
Let me break this down for you. Most people don't even realize funerals have become a soulless business. Because if people actually knew what goes on before the service, no one would move forward with them again. Because psychologically, we've been conditioned to believe funerals are big and ceremonial traditions, as if somehow going all out would bring your loved one back. Because the truth is, funeral homes look to exploit you when you're at your lowest point grieving, where they want to upcharge and even guilt trip you to add on unneeded things, claiming that it's to honor your loved one. Which means this was never about helping you grieve or making these hard times any easier. It's about turning your pain into their profit.
In Canada, 1 of 20 people in Canada is assisted.
What?
Yeah, 1 in 20. They killed 15,300 people last year.
What a shit show. What a shit show.
It was legalized in 2016, but it showed around 15,300 people underwent assisted dying last year.
Median age is 77, though.
After being successful in their applications.
Yeah.
The median age is 77. I kind of get that.
Yeah.
So you can just do it for any reason?
Yep.
Yeah.
Small minority of other cases, patients may not have been terminally ill, but sought assisted death due to long and complicated illness that had significantly impact their quality of life. Well, it really makes you think, like, what percentage of people are just suffering?
Yeah.
And so I said to the president as I'm walking out, and he's standing by the Oval or by the Resolute desk, and I said, Mr. President, I said, I don't know if you heard this, but today, Barack Obama, and he said, oh, I heard that. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. And I said, okay. And he said, trust me, Glenn, whoever comes into this office, no matter what party they're in, they're going to sit behind this desk. And they're going to realize, because they're going to be advised by exactly the same people that have been advising me, that they really have no choice. This is what they have to do. And he said, have a good day. And I'm like, holy cow. I walked out and do you remember me calling you after that, Stu?
Yes.
And I was freaked out. I was like, this is not good. The president isn't really the president. The president is just listening to all these advisors who were advising the last president and the president before that. And it's all State Department stuff. And they're just executing a long plan. What difference does it make who we have in the office if that's true?
Yeah,
remember
I
that?
One specific part of that you didn't mention was because he was very angry at you, but that part of the conversation was meant to make you feel good, right?
Yes.
It wasn't like an angry thing. It was a, hey, it's okay, calm down. all the decisions will remain the same. And it's like, that didn't calm you down much.
No, it made it worse.
Yes.
And so why do I bring this story up, which I've told before? Why do I bring this story up? I bring this story up because when Donald Trump sat at the table and said, just going to get old Vlad on the phone, and he stands up, walks out of the room with all the world leaders, and he just picks up the phone and calls Vladimir Putin and says, hey, I just want to keep you up to speed of what's going on. He didn't ask for permission. He didn't have anybody whispering in his ear. He's leading the State Department. He's leading the world. He's keeping his own counsel. That hasn't been done by a president in I don't know how long. And it's why we're once again the leaders of the world. Because these advisors, all of these doctors and professors and, people who have been in the State Department their whole life and know better than everybody, Donald Trump has said to them, shut up. I've seen your record. It doesn't work. We've been doing it for 100 years. We're losing credibility. We're losing money. We're losing power and influence. I don't want to hear it. This is the direction we're going. And he didn't have the juice to be able to fire all of those people last time.
End of an era. AOL is officially shutting down their dial-up internet.
Bro, I'm here to tell you that who the fuck thought this shit was still around? You're announcing something that we already forgot.
The fact that there's somebody out there still dialing up on AOL is common.
You should be arrested. If you're hearing that dial-up thing right now, just turn yourself into the cops right now. What? This doesn't exist.
It has to be old people or
There's
something.
no way
or,
anybody's dialing
or like
up.
maybe there's a nostalgia community attached with it that still goes in and gets into AOL chat rooms and shit.
Bro.
I don't know. I'm going to play it for y'all in a second. This is the last time you're ever going to hear it.
It's the last time you're ever going to hear it.
As if the internet doesn't exist and you can't go find it on YouTube.
You've got mail.
It's the last time you're ever going to hear it.
Nobody thought you could use dial-up still.
So, what does that do to your chest, y'all? What does it do to your chest
smile.
when you hear that sound? I mean,
bro, look at that right there. I know I've seen that a million times in my life.
oh, the startup screen?
Just the America Online. That was like our training wheels.
Do you remember your AOL screen name?
Yeah.
You do? What is it?
Will the Bill.
Will the Bill. Drop y'all's AOL screen names in the chat. You know what mine was, Will?
What?
I didn't have one because I was too broke. I was out on my own. This shit didn't even become like available in my circle until the late 90s or like 97.
Bro.
And I damn sure didn't
said
have
no
the internet.
worries, bro.
I didn't really access the internet until my buddy
So
had it.
funny, bro.
And we would just get on there and just look at the wildest shit like rotten.com and
Yep.
shit. This is a disconnect for me, and I feel kind of left out that I didn't have an AOL screen name. And I know people would get in them chats all the
Bro,
time.
I
Like the
was
chats were
I
cracking.
was all up in them AIM chats, bro.
I did not get to experience that. Only when I was with friends watching them do it.
So we're walking.
Yeah, me neither. We never had a computer. I am so non-tech savvy. I'm not into video games, and it's just how I was brought up, right? Like we didn't, like I said in yesterday's video, I went from a Super Nintendo to a PlayStation 2. Like I just wasn't into, when I was at my friend's house, I'd play, or when I was at their house, we would go on their computer, do whatever. But at home, I don't think we got a computer until like my sisters were in high school, and they're old. They're like, probably 3, 4, 5 years older than me. So it wasn't until then, I was like in middle school, maybe just getting out of 6th grade, where we finally got a computer. But before then, even now to this day, I type chicken type, right? I don't know how to type. I never took a computer class in school. I never did any of that. So I am so old school with technology.
Creek, and I look up, and there's a skull on a stick, a human skull. And I'm like, holy shit, there's a skull. And me being me, I'm like, they do this in Popwood, to be clear. But me being me, I'm like, let's go in and check that out. So I climb up this little hill where the skull on the stick is, and there's a cave opening. So you go in the cave opening, and there's a picture on my Instagram, I think. But I go into this cave littered with human skulls. Like hundreds of them, hundreds and hundreds of them, real human skulls. And I'm like, oh shit, I don't think we're supposed to be here, because I just popped in to see what it was.
Oh my God.
And I come out, and the tribal warriors are standing there watching me with spears, and they're like, why are you in our cave? Again, missionaries have been through there, so they speak English. And I'm like,
they're speaking English.
yeah.
That's gotta be creepy.
it's different, you know, tribal guys named John Dudley and things like that because the missionaries have been through there. Yeah, it's really bizarre. Anyway, these warriors have watched me go in, like they've stalked us. They're like, what are these white boys doing here? They've stalked us through the jungle. Then they've watched me basically, it's not like I peed on the skulls, but like desecrate their tribal burial site because I hopped into it to see what it was. And I come out and they weren't angry, but they also weren't, they were just very stern. Like they're like, why are you in our cave? To be honest, they actually didn't say anything there. They just took us to the village, and then the chief was the one who communicated with us.
You're not shitting yourself when you're
the
going?
whole time.
Okay.
Like I had a pocket knife, like on my back belt, and I remember I reached back and I put my hand on my pocket knife like I was gonna do anything, you know. It was like a
well, you got to go down with a fight.
Exactly. And I remember my cameraman was behind me, and he literally swatted my hand away because there was a guy looking over his shoulder, and he saw me like reach back at my blade, you know. And so he's like, don't do it, because he didn't want, you know, we didn't want it to escalate. But yeah, they took us in, and then I explained the whole situation, like we were trying to find the village. So we came up the creek, I saw the skull, and I went in, and he's like, okay, you know. And then it was fine. It was like, yeah, you know, like you weren't here to do any damage. I was like, I'm just here to talk about sharks. And he's like, yeah, what do you want to know?
You're just like, I'm just gonna back away.
Yeah, exactly.
Right great day.
Yeah,
we're good. We got all the content we need.
Yeah.
Oh
So
God,
been in
man.
some weird situations like that where you just like, you end up looking around, you're like, right, I'm in a cave filled with human skulls. I probably shouldn't have done this.
Well, minus the human skulls and happening upon some of those things, it's very clear to me that like you're living out your dreams and actually doing the damn thing.
For sure.
There's a lot of people who never get to do that in their life. So that's really, really cool that you've been able, like, you grew up among this and then you found your way back to it very quickly after you had to leave Zimbabwe, which is a pretty wild story, by the way. And, you know, now you get to travel the world and go find shit that other people think doesn't exist, or go look at the shit that most people will go their whole lives without seeing. That's fucking awesome, man.
I need an old school all black hat like that dude's hat. I used to always have all black hats. I have to purchase one, y'all.
Anyone can do it. That's the thing.
Anybody can go back to the 1900s and look at all the mental asylums. And this is interesting. These buildings are absolutely massive, and they have like thousands of rooms. So then you start to wonder, why would someone build a mental asylum that large? Imagine the resources it would take. And especially because around the 1900s, you see people building little houses that are like wooden shacks. They're all like little wooden shacks all over because they were trying to build something. Then you have these huge mental asylums where they were locking up people who went against the narrative. That's what those were used for. Anybody who said they were hearing voices because of the rollout of the radio, or going against any of these that they were trying to put into everybody's arm at that time, or trying to go against paying taxes, they threw them in the mental asylum and they locked them up. And they got rid of a lot of the population at that time, or a portion of that population, who went against the grain. So people should look into the 1900 mental asylums and that whole thing and start to see that the buildings and the size and the structure, and then they demolished all of them. Actually, there was one in Chicago that I went to one time. I remember I had to deliver a pizza back in the day, and it was a mental asylum. And they demoed it in Chicago, and I wonder why. Got to get rid of the history.
Now, I used to go pick up blood when I worked for Sonora Quest, which is like a LabCorp, right? Just based in Arizona. Quest Diagnostics, pretty much. And I used to pick up from a mental, right, for adults and children, right? Children were on one level, adults, and it is sketchy. It is very sketchy because I'm walking amongst them. There's nurses walking like right next to this dude walking by me because I don't know, he's just not, you know, all there, and it's just sketchy, y'all. I've had some scary stories in that place. Like I remember I went down the elevator, freaking, they were taking them outside like to wreck or whatever, right? And I was done. I was going to hit the elevator. And this guy put me in the elevator with all of them. You would think he would be like, hey, grab the next one, or go ahead. We'll wait for you after, right? That's what I would have done. I would have been like, hey, go ahead. We'll catch the next one. Or like, we're going to catch this one. Like, you can just hold on. You know what I mean? Don't go in there with me. And I remember one guy, because I had a badge to get through the doors, right? You got to sign in. They give you, because they're all locked up. And this one dude was like, hey, let me have that badge, right? I laughed. Thought he was joking. Dead serious. Like I was like, holy crap. But man, those places are not comfortable to be in.
think that AI this year specifically, in combination
And I'm one
with
of
the
them.
degree free movement in general, is going to demolish colleges. They can't keep up with current tech now. They can't even pretend like they're keeping up with current tech now. And then with less regulation and I think more money going into the educational market in general for better options, and it's not hard to be better than a college at this point. Federal and state bodies dropping degree requirements and more companies following suit. I think that enrollment's just going to continue to just drop through the floor. And then the rapid advancements in AI are going to challenge traditional education models. And I think that's really going to come home to roost because the colleges charge so much for such a poor curriculum. They're not going to adapt their curriculum to meet current business standards because they are hedge funds and they're not run by business savvy people really, and they don't want to change their business model at all, as indicated by the fact that they just keep raising tuition and they are uninterested in changing and adding value for students. And I think that they risk, like I said, extreme enrollment decline as students just go, this is not a good investment for me. I don't want to spend all this time when I can do this in 6 months, which most of the jobs that they would be going to college for, they can learn in 6 months to a year as it is. And they're going to get more relevant, up-to-date training if they just don't spend that time and money at college.
Is it me? Or once you've been on a job for a long time, they try to get you to quit. It really needs to be studied. You're never going to see somebody be at a company for 20, 30, 40 years now. You're lucky to even get 3 out of some people. I've only had 3 jobs my whole life. That says a lot, right? That don't mean shit. All that shit's out the door. See, you're going to have to fire me before I quit because you know what? I'm going to collect a check on your ass. For all the pain and suffering. Yeah, I'm going to go get that unemployment before I just quit. For all the bad shit that's happened to me while I've worked this job, sometimes I just want the whole company to just crash. My mental health, I don't have it anymore. It's gone. I'm crazy. I might as well try to bite my damn ear. Shit, man. I'm just at the point, I just don't give a damn anymore. Just know, if I crash out, it's been a long time coming. I'm just ready to reap napalm.
Milwaukee was...
Damn. That's something to be looked at, right? It was kind of saying some dark things.
A book called Evicted that was written about Milwaukee. It's like the slumlord. There's a lot of slumlord places in the country, but there's a lot of slumlords in Milwaukee. I've walked hundreds of properties in Milwaukee, so I've walked places that literally there's a hole in the ceiling, a big hole in the ceiling coming from through the second floor, through the first floor, because the landlord hasn't replaced the roof, and they have a bucket in their living room. Places where it's like, people have asked, like, hey, are you renting? My sink hasn't worked in 3 weeks or 3 months. And it's like, how are you still paying rent? There's slumlords, but then there's also, like, I've had really terrible tenants. I just paid $17K to renovate a place that some lady beat to shit in 6 months.
How did she beat it to shit?
She left I guess she left 3 dogs in there for like a week by themselves. So the carpet was ripped out. There was poop in every room. And she owed me 4 months of rent. So I tried to work with her. So I lost that rent. I had to redo the entire house.
And you can't take her to court.
Was taking place in China. It's called 15-minute cities, where in order for me to enter my apartment complex, I have to do a biometric scan. In order for me to leave my apartment, I have to do a biometric scan. That information gets sent to the government agency or police station, and it gets you logged in. So much so to the point where if you have a poor social credit score and you do biometric scans and you want to get into your apartment, it says access denied. They don't even let you into your own home. It's getting really crazy. And during COVID, the 15-minute city lockdowns, you couldn't leave your apartment.
Food for thought. This would be quick action. Have you ever noticed that Al-Qaeda and ISIS fights along the Israeli border but never attack Israel? For people who hate Jews, because everybody says Muslims hate Jews, how come they never attack Israel? Why do they only attack Muslims and kill Muslims? You guys ever thought of that? I know why. Because Al-Qaeda works for the U.S. government. ISIS is a U.S. and Israel creation. It's 100%. It makes sense. I mean, they don't do nothing Islamic, either country. I mean, either group does nothing Islamic. And they never attack Israel. They kill other Muslims, which is very, very sinful in our religion. So, think about that. Why they never attacked Israel when Muslims hate Jews so much.
but they'll attack us. They won't attack Israel. I don't know if this is true or not. I'm just playing along with it, right? If this is true, America will let them attack us, the people, their people, but not Israel. Because they are government funded, right? Now they really are. They got night vision, they got tanks, they got helicopters, they got jets.
Thrifting is dead.
Oh, yeah, it is.
$10 for this. Because what do you mean? I believe it's a preserves jar. It's usually like $5 with preserves inside it. Am I
Even
wrong?
5 is a lot.
Have you all realized?
Man, like, thrifting used to be so much fun, y'all. Like, on a Wednesday, I'd go hit all the thrift shops, Sun City, all the Goodwill. Goodwills, I think thrifting is still good in Phoenix, where I used to live. Because I've been to those thrift shops. I'm like, still pretty cheap, but where I'm at now, good luck if you want to make a living off thrifting. It ain't happening. I had to give it up.
Boomers have been a little more quiet when it comes to picking on the millennials and Gen Zers, especially the past few months. And I think the reason is that they are now feeling what we were complaining about 3 years ago. And the reason that we knew that inflation was going to really fuck us is because we were the ones renting, seeing these high increases, or we were trying to buy a house and seeing how far out of reach it really was. So we saw it coming. But the boomers, I think, originally weren't affected. But now here we are 3 years later. I think their property taxes went up, their homeowners insurance went up, maintenance and services around the house went up, and of course, groceries, insurance, car prices, everything has gotten so expensive. And I think the boomers are now hurting because they are on a fixed income. And what this basically boils down to, even if the richest generation who had the greatest 3 decades to build wealth in the 80s, 90s, and 2000s are now struggling in their retirement from following to go to school, get good grades, go to college, get a good job, work for 40 fucking years, and then retire, and they're not even comfortable. That is proof that we're not the crazy ones. We're just seeing through it and going, this maybe used to work for a lot more people, but it just doesn't now. It just doesn't work.
You guys, I saw how the car payment keeps Americans in the middle class. Everyone knows I got a Jeep recently. I got rid of that Jeep. I've never really had a car payment. My truck was paid off cash. I had a Malibu before that. That was paid cash. I did have like a little Nissan Sentra when I first started doing Spark and all that, but I was paying like $300 on it, right? Got rid of that too and got my Prius. Paid cash for that. And that Prius never gave me a problem. But this time around, me being more wise with money and, you know, making decent money and all that, I saw, like, I know people that buy a car, use it 2-3 years, go trade it in, get a new car, just constant. And I just have witnessed, man, like that car payment, that is what's separating you from financial freedom, y'all. I will never, I said this before and I did it and I learned my lesson. It was an expensive lesson to learn, but damn, that was good education. I will never, ever go step foot in a dealership unless I got cash. Never again.
What do you
And I do want to do it, you know, because I would still probably go to Craigslist, but I do want to go to a dealership and just stick it to a salesman and just give him cash. You know what I mean? I just want to do it once with 50,000. Just boom, drop it. Like F you. You screw people over all freaking day. They screwed me over. They screwed me over big time. I just want to go and just drop cash on him just to put him in his place. You know what I mean? Probably won't, but that's something I would like to do.
to be changed in the way black men are policed in America?
Leave that up with the critics and the laws and all that old shit. We having fun, we iced out, we having money. That's how we doing it.
Do you feel like it's not the artist's place to speak on social issues?
No.
That same guy talked terrible in his music. Still does. Got locked up with a RICO. Well, just recently, right? He got locked up. Just recently, audio came out of his interrogation. I don't know if the visual came out, but the audio came out. And he is up there saying, I will tell you guys whatever you want to know. Just don't tell the public. This is him saying that. You know, I'll tell you everything. But you can't tell the people, like the people. That's who's on top of the rap game, leading a generation of kids to the hellfire. This guy preaching all this, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to sell drugs, you need to kill, you need to do such and such to women. Evil, right? But when he's behind closed doors, he's telling them, I'll tell you whatever you guys want to hear. I'll snitch on my mom. Just don't let the public know.
Found in Israel. Joshua's altar was excavated and they took the spoils from it. They find this little lead tablet about that big and they know that something's going on with it. Because of computers and where we are, they're able to read what the script says. Joshua's altar is built right at the gateway to the promised land. And it says this: cursed, 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 cursed of Yahweh, you will die cursed, 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 cursed. Whoa. So I was on a Zoom call with the archaeologist in Israel when he did the presentation on this. I threw a curveball and I said, I understand where it is, but this is not to the people of Israel. This cursed tablet is to the people in the land. And also, when it says Yahweh, it's the first time that Yahweh is mentioned anywhere. And the archaeologists, we got to go back to school. What are we looking at here? It's all written in Proto-Canaanite, which of course I can't read, but they can. In my opinion, this cursing is to the inhabitants of the land, which are the seed of the dragon, which are the Nephilim tribes, which were never supposed to be there. Wow. And right, it just goes like this. That's fascinating.
LeBron James, let me tell you something about LeBron. We're talking about Antarctica, the Cell of the Fallen Angels. No other team in the NBA wants him. His time is up. I can't wait to see these shorts. His time is up. No team wants him. He's got one more year. And when he retires, his number will be called to either him, his wife, his daughter, or one of his sons. Somebody has to be sacrificed because we allowed you, LeBron, to pass Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I'm telling you how these deep state devils think. They want blood, okay? We gave you what you want. You're the greatest scorer in NBA history. We need someone to be liquidated. His number will be called. And you got a lot of listeners. Oh, you're saying he's going to die? I'm not saying he's going to die like Kobe. Something's about to come up. Be called. You see? Anyone on that land, especially the rappers, we talked about this the first time I was on your power show. To go higher into the rap industry, you have to be butt broken, like you say, in humiliation, okay? And so they're butt broken. That's the system. And if you don't want to give in, they're trying to destroy you. But LeBron James, so let me say this, and we're going to end it here today. LeBron James' days are numbered. His days are numbered.
If it took 30 days for a ship to go from Africa to here, and let's say he got 200 on the ship, 200 times the 30 days, plus supplies, how many ships would he need to bring 100 million niggas over here to North America?
All right, I believe, I actually,
do the mathematics.
Yeah.
Math don't lie.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So if we did the mathematics, there's no way that story can fan out. Two, black people have always been in North America. That's what I just said. There has never been a time when the black man was not on the shores of North America.
Okay. Now, who are you calling the black man on the shores of North America? Who, particularly?
Who am I calling him? Hey, Reggie, I know you didn't.
Just answer me.
Me.
Okay. No, we're talking about at the time that when you.
And then they go. This is why they had to ban TikTok. They don't care about your kids' mental health, by the way.
No.
All they give them is poison little waffle bites. I mean, that's all children are given from the time in this country they're 3 until they hit puberty, which they're now hitting at like 10, by the way. The reason that we wanted to ban TikTok had nothing to do with bullying and it had nothing to do with mental health. It was the fact that kids were starting to look at the world and go, why is this like this? Why is this happening? Why is everybody getting killed? And then parents had to have these really uncomfortable conversations with their children about the fact that, hey, it's just part of the game. And a lot of these people, because they're under pressure to succeed and to excel. And we do that to children, whether it's in sports, whether it's in academics. So we're not a country that prioritizes anybody's mental health. Nobody's. Not adults. Not adults. Not adult. We don't prioritize anybody's mental health.
Anyone who didn't comply to their new world was thrown in a mental asylum for reconditioning, reprogramming, with most never making it out. Old energy systems reformatted into wires and created so humans had to pay to live on the planet. They saw humans as their farm animals, pretending they cared, when actually they saw us as nothing more than animals that needed to be herded, controlled, and silenced, so they could serve their power, domination, and demonic control, with the dark entities convincing them they would be rewarded for their evil actions. They put us through the industrial age, convincing us this was development and this was progression, when really we were only building their world, tricked into believing this was for our benefit, when this was only shaping our consciousness to fit their own desires. The broken families and orphans repopulated the planet, creating anxiety, pain, and worry at a base level, starting their new world so we could be developed, shaped, and molded into how they wanted. Humanity had been left to ruin and evolve on its pain, to understand its own suffering. But this had happened in many cycles before, where we had reached a higher state of human consciousness, but we couldn't go any further. So it had to be reset. But this time, they were not able to stop it. There was no way they could control the rise in this consciousness, and it could only be reset through their technology.
Why won't you allow more food trucks to drive through the border crossings into Gaza to feed starving civilians while you continue to take out the terrorists in Hamas?
The problem isn't getting the trucks in. The problem is that once they're getting in, they're looted by Hamas or looted by gangs.
Well, in the north, you said that you've destroyed Hamas. If Hamas isn't in the north, then how is Hamas taking away food? And if you open up more border crossings and give more food into the area, allow starving people to eat, the looting maybe would subside. That's human nature, no?
Well, Blackstone just admitted to why they're buying up all the single-family homes in America. In a recent story with CNBC, Blackstone stated that they are buying up all these rentals and single-family homes because it's too expensive to build. And that's right now, not counting tariffs and all the skilled labor being gone. It's going to be a nightmare building homes in some locations. And here private equity is to swoop in and make everything worse by taking the cheapest option off the table for the working class. Now, they claim to only have around 274,000 single-family homes, which I'm betting if you actually counted up all their subsidiaries, that number is way higher. And with these institutions scooping up these homes, it won't be long before everybody's doing it, really limiting Gen Z and millennials' chance to ever own a home again. It was slim to none now. In 5 years, it will be a non-existent dream because private equity is going to take that dream and turn it into a nightmare. Please.
Watch this. be careful what you all see as an entertainment, because whatever Hollywood do, society follows. Always protect your kids, because we all know why all they are doing this. It's some kind of, if you know, you know.
You know the story about his laptop with the cops that saw it?
And supposedly they're all dead? Yeah.
A bunch of them.
Crazy.
Yeah, how many cops are dead? Google that. But the other thing is that they said what they saw was so horrific.
Then
And like some of them took their own lives.
Well, that's crazy. That whenever there's so many, start to get a little, I'm like, wait a minute, hold on, what happened here?
9 of the 12 NYPD officers who viewed Anthony Weiner's laptop subsequently died by widely circulated, but it lacks substantiation with concrete evidence linking these officers directly to Weiner's laptop.
But I have zero problem believing that Anthony Weiner had a laptop with some very bad things on it.
Yeah, that dude's weird.
For sure, he was involved. Look, they were grooming that guy to be some huge politician.
It finally happened to me. This weekend, I had my first Gen Alpha, I don't know, retail type of work experience. So I took myself out on a little me date. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to go to the movies. So I took myself out to go see a movie. Went to go see Weapons. Very movie, by the way. But anyway, I got my little ticket. I step up. I'm like, you know what? It's all about me today. I'm going to get some popcorn. I'm going to get a drink. I'm going to enjoy this movie.
Hell
so
yeah.
I walk up to the counter to order my popcorn and my drink, right? So this young girl walks up to the counter, right? She looked like she might have been like 16, 17. She could have been 18, 19, somewhere around there. So I kid you not. She walks up to the counter. I'm looking like, and she didn't say a word. She looked at me like, and I was like, oh, let me get a popcorn and a drink. Then she did this. So I'm confused. I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna get a popcorn and a drink. And she's like this.
That's funny. We've all had that.
Looking back at the menu. So I'm like, what's going on? So I look up at the menu. She's looking at the popcorn sizes. Like, what size do you want? And I was like, let me get regular. Let me get a regular size.
Wake your ass up.
So then she put something on the computer and she was like, did you want a drink too? And I was like, yeah, popcorn and a drink. And she was like, I said, okay, regular size. She typed in her stuff, brought the popcorn and the drink. And I was just like, okay, I had my first experience. She didn't want to say nothing to me. She didn't want to say nothing. She didn't want to ask me what size I wanted. She wanted to say, hey, how may I help you? Nothing. She barely wanted to bring the popcorn out. And I'm just like, at first I thought people was kind of putting on for social media when they talk about the Gen Z experience or the whatever Gen Alpha experience for retail. But it's actually pretty wild. Like I was kind of surprised. She legit said to ask me what size I wanted. Anyway, popcorn was great. Movie was cool. I highly recommend taking yourself out for a self date. But yeah, that was wild.
Yeah, I went through the drive-thru a while back, right? And I was paying cash, and a quarter. She dropped my quarter, right? She wasn't gonna let me get my food without a quarter. I said, "You see the quarter down there?" It's just so annoying because this is a multi-billion-dollar Fortune 500 company, and you're gonna bust my balls over a quarter you dropped that you see right there on the ground. Like, it just baffles me. I would be hooking. Hey, don't worry about it. I got you. Go ahead. Oh, you want some ketchup? I don't understand. I don't understand the mindset of this young generation. I just don't get it. I don't get it. I don't like it. My son ain't gonna be that way. It is ridiculous.
First thing that come to y'all mind when y'all seen these three people together. I don't know about y'all, but this is a scary sight. And it's not even a fact that it's these three together. It's about what these three together were talking about. Someone caught them on a hot mic, y'all. And the shit that they were saying had me like, what the fuck? I know y'all probably like, oh, he talking about war talk. No, it's not even that, y'all. They got caught talking about organ transplants and achieving immortality. Think about how wild this is, y'all. 3 of the most powerful men in the world were whispering about how they can live younger and maybe even forever. Some people can't even afford the basic health care. Y'all gotta ask yourself, if they can be comfortable joking about living to 150 years, best believe they already probably got some labs up. They probably already doing experiments. They probably already dumped $1 billion into some shit somewhere in the dark. You never know. Now here's the scary part, y'all. Immortality is not just about living forever. Imagine these billionaires, imagine the elites are capable of living forever. Who's gonna make these rules? Who's gonna have all the power? They're gonna run every single thing. I know it's people sitting there laughing like, oh, they was just playing. That was just an inside joke. But you and me know, they don't just do that shit and let it just slip out of nowhere, y'all. Everything be planned, fool. So maybe, y'all, just maybe this wasn't an accident. Maybe this was meant to happen. They probably just showing us a glimpse of what's to come. So if you had the opportunity to live forever, would you want to?
By far the most convincing evidence that I've heard for us being in a simulation is, you know, that S that just appears everywhere, the one with like the 3 lines and then the 3 lines and then the triangles that has just been showing up all throughout history, all throughout the world. That S that's been showing up in schools everywhere, somehow just everyone knows it. So the theory is that that S is the logo for the company that runs our simulation. And that...
Do y'all see what's going on with the crop fields all over the country? By the way, all of those are oranges, y'all. This is in South Jersey. But do y'all see what's going on? I'm not here to scare anybody or push fear content, but family, food is about to soar once again. Why? Well, y'all if you haven't heard, currently there's a whole bunch of videos of ICE agents going around and just raiding random places, y'all. And the fields for harvesting food has been one of the biggest ones. And now we're in September and you guys can clearly see what's happening. Look at this entire strawberry field in Tampa just completely rotten. Yo, I'm in Florida and I didn't even notice, like, Tampa's literally my neighbor. I had no idea. Really in that F around and found out stage now because they thought Donald Trump was going to help them and make everything cheaper and bring gas down and all this type of stuff. But it's
ain't a damn thing changed yet.
I said he is here to just dismantle this entire false corporation.
We're here. We are here at the FAFO stage. This is really bad. And if you appreciate my content, please engage with this video. I'm just going to read this to you. Multiple Texas farms shut down after almost 100% of workforce vanishes overnight. In a stunningly swift overnight change, some Texas farm operations had to shut down after losing virtually all of their workforce. An exodus triggered by the increase in immigration raids and increased enforcement.
Ladies and gentlemen, I will tell you when it comes to food, make sure you are stocked up because something big is about to happen with the food. Remember, it started with the porch and everything, y'all. So y'all see it, don't act like y'all don't know, okay? But yeah. Did y'all hear about this? Let me know down in the comments below, y'all. I've been telling y'all the shift is here. Y'all feel it. Let's continue to get it. Peace out.
It's either going to attack something in your body that's weak or it's going to induce something from cancer and AIDS. Something is going to happen inside of your bloodstream. And I say, y'all think about this. The whole time the pandemic was going on, you know what the strangest shit to me was? All of a sudden, we got pills for AIDS. All of a sudden, I started seeing these commercials of, man, it ain't so bad to have AIDS no more. We got a pill. Damn, as soon as they kill one thing, they introduce something else.
You know what? You know what?
What?
Because they got to keep the hustle going.
You ain't lying. It's all about that dollar. But anyways, y'all, hope you guys enjoy the content. I am finally done. 6 videos. I'm glad I'm getting a nice week off. Hope you guys have been enjoying the content. We'll be back with longer form videos here on Thursday. Back to the routine. Hopefully I having a good time. I'm getting all these negative toxins out of me on this vacation. I come back with the new mentality, because I'm telling you, once I get this eating clean, we're going to that next level, y'all. I hit my peak eating how I'm eating. I got to this level eating how I've been eating. To go to that next level, I need to go, right? Because right now, the way my mind works is like, man, I'm going to lose it. I'm going to lose it, right? My channel's just slowly dropping down. I'm going to lose it. But when I'm eating clean, it's the opposite. I want more. I want to start a business over here now. I want, like, you know what I mean? So that's what I want to achieve with this vacation. I'm hoping I go out there, enjoy it, come home, and I'm a new animal, back to how I used to be before I moved out here to Texas. Because Mama, I was telling Mama Bear yesterday, like, you haven't even seen me at my best. You have only seen me at my worst, right? She doesn't even know how I used to be, how my mind used to be, how I used to be out there on the daily working out, running. Like, you guys haven't even seen that side of me. It's been a while since I've been at that side. And I'm hoping with this vacation, I come back and I get back to the basics, y'all. Start with the basics. This is Segovia, signing out of the Man Cave. I hope everyone out there's having a good day. I'll see you guys on the next one. Later.